Chips, because if the presidential proclamation does something that is irreversible, and that is a test your lordship will use. And Justice Khanna is right, my lord, when he emphasizes necessary or desirable. In relation to body and authority, as I pointed out. If this proclamation is bad, then its extension, my lord, in July is also bad, because that was a parliamentary extension for a further 6 months.
Yes.
Now, my lord, Article 358 suspends Article 19 during the proclamation, not beyond. This is now, my lord, and your lordships will see that further when I present CO 272 and 273. They go well beyond the period. And the genesis of all this, my lord, is the presidential proclamation. Even assuming, my lord, it goes for 1 year, it takes away conditionalities which cannot be taken away. Later, my lord, I'm sorry. I'm a little loud. I'm not used to whispering into microphones, like my predecessors. Now, my lord, I'm going to place. No, classrooms are very soft. Classrooms are a wonderful exchange with students, unparalleled, just as this is an exchange between the bench and us, my lord. And it is the nature of this exchange, my lord, that we must honor, under limitations of time, of course, my lord. But we must, my lord, honor this exchange as the most important part of arguing in this court. Now, my lord, in Article 3, CO, just want to point out the CO number. Now, your lordships will see that because your lordship raised the question, what did you lose on 4th August, after 4th August? The CO 48, the PDF is 485. PDF 13, my lord. Now, my lord, the further proposition, which is a wider proposition, is this: that during President's rule, Article 3 and 4 and 370 cannot be invoked.
Article
cannot be invoked.
Article 3 and 4.
3 and 4, my lord. Why? Because they have conditionalities, my lord. And the conditionality is specific to the legislature of the state, to the government of the state. And the legislature becomes parliament. The governor becomes the president. Therefore, the conditionalities that exist in 3 and 4 and Article 370, neither Parliament, my lord, nor the President can be substitutes for the conditionalities that exist in Article 3, 4 and 370. You don't go through that process.
Dr. Dhawan, it's such a broad proposition with regard to Article 3.4. Forget about 370 for the time being. May not be correct in terms of the language used of clause 3 to 356. Let's hope it never happens, but in a given case, it can happen. There can be disputes
My lord,
between two
the-
states and which is impossible to resolve until unless the center steps in with regard to boundary or something like that.
if
So broad proposition, don't, if you're making a broad
I'm
proposition like that,
I'm
it's
responding,
very difficult. It's very difficult to
I'm
accept.
responding.
Because we can be varied situations which we may not be able to postulate as of today.
My lord, I'm making about a proposition about process and substitution. Because 370, subclause 1, my lord, has its discipline. Just as 3 and 4 has its
I
mandate
said,
discipline.
leave 370 for the time being, but a broad proposition that Article 3 and 4, the provisos can never be suspended in terms of Article 356.
My lord, the Parliament cannot be, and I'll show the debate when Amit Shah introduced this, my lord, in the Lok Sabha. Parliament cannot be a substitute for the legislature of the state. That's a very narrow proposition, my lord.